Today I am in the historic town of Mooresville, North Carolina. Located north of Charlotte, about 25 miles outside of the metropolitan area of Charlotte, you will find Mooresville. Now, this town was founded many, many years ago, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the history, a little bit about your commutes, a little bit about the town itself, what it's known for, and what you can expect to find here. And per usual, I'm also going to give you a little taste of what you're going to find when it comes to home prices and the style that you can expect if you move here. Now, I personally love Mooresville. It's probably one of my favorite little towns to come out and check out, especially on a Saturday or a Sunday, and walk around, get some ice cream, some coffee, a great bite to eat. But we're going to dive into quite a bit. So if that's what you're looking for, is everything Mooresville, stay tuned on this video. I even have some really fun facts that even some locals don't even know. Now, if you're looking for everything Charlotte, North Carolina, the good, the bad, the ins, the outs, and everything in between, you have come to the right channel. Be sure to go ahead and like and subscribe to stay up to date on everything Charlotte, even the things you didn't know you needed to know. So every single day, I get calls, texts, emails, Zoom invites from people just like you, looking to make the move to the Charlotte, North Carolina area or South Carolina. Well, if that's you, whether it's 9 days or 90 days from now, whether you're moving all the way across the country, across the world, or just across town, be sure to reach out to me. Send me a call, a text, an email, set up a Zoom meeting, and I will make sure to make your move exactly what you want it to be. We are in the historic town of Mooresville, North Carolina. Now, Mooresville is rich with history. Although it was founded in 1873, the roots of Mooresville and the true start actually go all the way back to the 1700s when founded by the Scots-Irish. That's right, my family. Now, no, I did not come over on the boat, or my family didn't, till way, way later, and we never left New York. But when it comes to Mooresville, that is where the history started, was back in the 1700s. Now, once the railroad actually came through in the 1850s, a few years later, there were a few families that decided it was time for Mooresville to be incorporated, which is where we get the date of 1873. Now, since then, it of course has expanded. While most of the South really has its start with regards to farming, you've got soybeans, you've got cotton, you've got just about everything. It all tends to fold into what? Mills and textiles. That's right. Even way back in the past, when we made cotton here, it was going to be provided to a lot of the textile mills that were in other areas of North Carolina. Pretty cool. Everybody still today works together. Now, while the history, of course, starts with farming a very long time ago, over the years, something else has taken foot in Mooresville. What is it? Racing. There are over 60 racing teams and racing related businesses in the Mooresville area, dubbing Mooresville Racing City, USA. And it comes by it honestly. Now, one thing you are going to notice when walking downtown, and you probably see it behind me right here. See all those little placards? I'm going to show you exactly what those are. These placards run all the way up the street on both sides of Mooresville. You can see them all the way down that way. Now, when your city has so much having to do with racing, you certainly have some racing pride, and that's why these placards are all over the street. It's pretty neat to enjoy and read all of them. Now, I am going to say, I have not read them all, and I'm not a true racing fan, but for those of you out there that are, this is the place to come visit and maybe live. You guys know me at this point, and you know that Charlotte has over 70 plus breweries in the surrounding area, not just in Charlotte, but in the areas around. This spot right behind me, we're gonna pop in. I'm gonna show you a little bit of the craft community. Now, don't get too excited because you can't actually drink on camera, all right? At least you can. I can, but I'll skip it for today. Let's go check it out. Delicious, right? I know. I didn't have the opportunity to go get one, but I will be back this weekend for a brew. Now, one thing I want to point out about a location such as that, when you are going in most areas in and around Charlotte, Mooresville especially, you're going to find that they hold a variety of different local beers. It's actually more rare to find one of your everyday ordinary beers than it is to find something craft. So if you're into the craft scene, you've come to the right region. Another thing that I'd like to point out, and no, this is not saying that Mooresville is an alcoholic city. I'm just pointing out that we have a ton of small businesses in the area, and one of them is also a distillery. So as you see behind me, it's not open right now because it's normal operating hours for most people. But right here, we have this amazing distillery right in downtown Mooresville. How cool is that? So definitely go check it out. They'll mix you up a drink. And of course, it's going to be exquisite. It's a little warm outside, but I had to come in here and show this to you. So if any of you have watched any of my social media or my channel for any point in time, you also know I have a deep heart for the arts. And Mooresville, among all others, I would say putting them up against all other towns in and around Charlotte, I think is one of the best art scenes. And I'm not just talking theater, I'm talking actual paintings and photography and things of that nature. Downtown Mooresville actually has a rich culture of art, and you'll notice that as you're walking around because there's a ton of galleries. Now, I want to bring you into this one in particular for a reason. In case you haven't noticed, it looks a little bit rustic. If you saw the sign outside and you decide to pull up that address, you'll know exactly where I am. This is the old train station, the main train station in Mooresville, and actually right out that back door there is the railway. Pretty cool, right? Repurposing is something that we do here in the Carolinas, repurposing buildings, but keeping a little bit of that old, I guess you could say, spark and spunk, as you can see by these beautiful rafters up here. So I'm gonna go enjoy some of the artwork, and I'll get back to you with some more info on Mooresville in a second. So let's talk a little bit about your commute times. Now, one of the biggest downsides of Mooresville, and there aren't many, is the commute if you work in Charlotte. Yes, Charlotte is 25 miles south of Mooresville, and your only main thoroughfare is going to be I-77. Now, while there are other roads that flank it, which would be Old Statesville Road, it could take you a little bit of time. As I've mentioned before, Mooresville is a historic town, which means there's a lot of older houses. So yes, two of the houses I'm gonna show you are rather old. I'm talking like almost 100 years old or more, but the other two are not. So I'm gonna mix it up a little bit on you today, but I'm also going to make sure I show you the last house, which is absolutely gorgeous, especially on the inside. And then there's a little bit of information that you don't know that I'm gonna share with you as to what the sale of this house actually did. So stay tuned, there's quite a bit coming. So like many areas around Charlotte, the smaller towns surrounding it are known to have a lot of mill houses. And well, of course, Mooresville is no different. The mill houses surrounding this area, many of which have been fully renovated, regentrified, or if they were too far gone, they were able to rebuild a completely new house. The cool thing is, most of them have actually stayed with the same styling. So let's take a look at this house. Now, this house behind me, absolutely adorable. 1,500 square feet. It was actually built in 1925. Now, this home is a 3-bed, 2-bath, which is actually a little bit unusual for the age because in this area, usually they were 2-bed, 1-baths. Now, this particular property is $320,000, although I have a feeling it's going to go pretty quick due to the location and how Like, I just think it's gorgeous on the inside. They did a really nice job with it. Now, the entire street we're on does have much older homes, a lot of which, as I said, have been regentrified. So when you're looking for a house close to downtown, you can actually find homes under $400,000. So our next house is actually going to be in the same price range, but it's a little bit newer. So I'm going to go show you what that looks like. Promised you I would show you something newer. Now, this is just 2 minutes up the road. How gorgeous is this house? But no, this isn't the one we're looking at. We're actually going to look at this one. This house is actually built in 2016. Now, it is a 4-bed, 3 full bathroom house, just, I would say, 3 minutes outside of downtown Mooresville. Now, I will point out that's 3 full bathrooms. In addition, we're going to go ahead and make a size comparison here. This one is 2,300 square feet. Now, one of the main differences, of course, it's newer. The lot that it sits on is a little bit bigger, but the neighborhood is pretty much the same. Now, what's the price on this one? $400,000. For just a few extra dollars, you could get a newer house that's a little bit larger with more bedrooms. Now, for our next house, we're gonna go venture up just a little bit more when it comes to the size and the price. So let's go see what we've got. So right now I'm actually on the other side of Mooresville, just across the tracks, and the homes here are stunning. This particular location is known for not only the size of the homes, but their historic nature. Now, the property that I'm about to show you right here is actually 3,900 square feet. It's 5 bedrooms, 3 full bathrooms, 1 half bath, and it is an absolute stunner. Now, this property was built in 1903. Look how gorgeous this is. I will add, I am standing under these beautiful magnolias, which are very common for the area, and they get really big. But check out this porch. I am in love with this house. And this property listed at $710,000. Now again, this, I could literally see the downtown street almost from here. So if you're looking for a great location and an amazing southern feel, this is the spot. So now let's head to the lake. Fun facts that perhaps I have not shared. LKN. What does LKN stand for? Well, it's an abbreviation for Lake Norman. Now, Lake Norman, if you haven't seen any of my other videos, is the largest man-made lake on the East Coast. And it just so happens to sit just north of Charlotte. But being we're in Mooresville, it actually sits just to the west of Mooresville. And quite a bit of Mooresville touches the lake. So we're actually on our way to Lake Norman. We have got about a 10-minute drive or so from downtown Mooresville, and the houses are certainly going to change. The price ranges are going to change. And I wanted to point out that although I was definitely hovering around that downtown area, because that's where we're focused today, there are a lot of styles, a lot of price ranges, and a lot of ages of homes varying in the Mooresville area. So I showed you some selections, but trust me, there is plenty more. I just found those ones to be really cute. So when we're talking about Lake Norman, there are lakefront properties. There are also properties in communities that perhaps have a shared dock, or you're near the lake. One thing to note is there's a lot of public parks in and around Lake Norman. So if you want to be out and about, if you want to launch your boat, if you want to rent a boat, you have the ability to do that. So keep that in mind as you're thinking about Lake Norman and the Mooresville area. It's definitely very doable to have a lake life without living directly on the lake. Because I will tell you, you are not going to get on the lake for less than $1.2 million. So that's your little piece of information of what you can expect here in a second. So stay tuned. We're going to go check out Lake Norman. Mooresville is considered a rather wealthy area. Now, while it didn't come into the top 10 of most affluent towns around Charlotte, it does have a lot of wealth. Now, that is dispersed throughout the Mooresville area, not only on the lake, but also closer into town. But a lot of that you can see from the newer municipality buildings, the very updated and very, I think, quaint downtown, but it's very clean. Now, on top of that, you're also going to notice this based upon the average income. As I mentioned, is $75,000. So when you're in Lake Norman, expect things to be nice. Right now, I'm on a very quiet back street, as you can see, and right over there is Lake Norman. Now, I need to set this up for you because the front of this house looks rather deceiving, but this home, here's one of the particulars. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,600 square foot, built in 1968. Now, you might be wondering, okay, what's so special about that? The interior, which we're not going to see today, was completely renovated in a very modern bohemian feel. In fact, I wish I owned it because I'd feel like I was on vacation every single day. Here is the house. This house right here is absolutely gorgeous. Now, not only the house is what makes this property. The property sits on almost an acre, and the actual deck that's out back, or dock should I say, the dock is amazing. Not only does it have a jet ski dock and a boat lift, but the dock itself spans probably 34 feet by 16 feet. It's massive, very big. So this house, here's the inside scoop on this and what your shocker is going to be. This house sold, yes, I'm showing you a house that sold to give you an idea, but this house sold for $500,000 over the asking price. Now, I'm not talking that this house sold in 2020. I'm talking 3 weeks ago, this house sold. That's right, it was on the market for 1.4 and it sold for a little bit over 1.9. How crazy is that? So this house, absolutely gorgeous. The property is gorgeous and the area is beautiful. So it's right on this very quiet street. As you can notice, there's absolutely no cars that have come down this street. This is the neighbor across the street, also beautiful. But I highly recommend this area. These are the kind of houses that you're going to find. Now, there is a house right up the street here, which is brand spanking new. I mean, it's massive. And it's sold for like $4.4 million. So you are going to have your older renovated homes, which are of modest size of 2,600, and you're going to have your monstrosities or very large mansions of 5,000 square feet, which I believe that one had about 6 bedrooms and 4 baths. So you're going to have a mix on Lake Norman. But the nice thing is, everybody's welcome. So this is rather impromptu, and usually I don't do this, but I just saw this house and I have to share it with you. Look how cool this house is. It looks like an absolute fairy tale. This is Mooresville, people, and this is what you can expect. What better a place to conclude our video tour of Mooresville than Lake Norman itself? I can hear the water lapping up. No? Can you hear it? That's the sound of Lake Norman, the peace and serenity of Lake Norman. Now, if you like this tour, go ahead and make sure to like and subscribe. I truly appreciate it. And if you're from the area or thinking of moving or you've got some input, put it in the comments below. I do want to hear from you and I do answer all of my comments. In addition to that, if you'd like to make sure you can call me, text me, email me, or set up that Zoom, all of my contact information is in the description below and in the comments. So, whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days or 9 months from now, whether it's across the country or just across town, I look forward to making your move everything you want it to be. Until next time, I look forward to showing you around town.